Games Web. My name's Mark, and today I'm going to take a look at the Aliens Colonial Marine Operations Manual from Free League Publishing. Check it out.
And there's nothing to worry about. We come here and we're going to conquer and we're going to take some. Is that understood? Yes, sir. That's what we're going to do, sweetheart. We are going to go and get some. All right, people, on the ready line. Are you me? Yeah! Are you me? Yeah! Where are you? Where are you? Hudson! Get on the ready line, Marine. Get something to die. Get on the ready line. Yo! Move it up. Move it up, goddammit. Get hot. 1, 2, 3, come on, get out, get out, get out! Move it up, move it up, move it up! Move it up, move it up, move it up! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, absolutely badasses! Let's pack them in! Get in there!
And welcome back. Okay, so let's take a quick look through the Colonial Marines Operations Manual from Free League. Now, I've already covered this in a preview that I did several weeks ago from the PDF. That's over on Gamers Web. I'll leave a link in either at the top or down the bottom, depending on where the card pops up, so you can actually check that through. This is more a quick look through the actual product because I did the review from a PDF and it wasn't a review, it was a preview. Okay, so first of all, thanks very much to Bull from Free League for supplying me this. Let's get down to it. Okay, so beautiful artwork. As always with all the Alien role-playing stuff, the artwork is fantastic. Free League, I've got a really fantastic art department. Marine, I'm with an M41 here. Alien, perfect. Simplistic, but it tells you exactly what it is. You don't need to go in depth on that. And then on the back, we've got the blurb, which tells us about life in the Marine Corps. NPCs run sizzle through your raw flesh as plasma beams sear swollen retinas. Acrid smoke chokes down your throat before you realise what's burning is you. Chemical attacks melt your armour, simmer your eyeballs and fuse your helmet to your skull, whilst bioweapons turn your insides out and pulp you into a quivering mound of black jelly. Welcome to the war on the razor's edge of space, Marine, where nukes are yesterday's news, pulse rifles are cheap and a human life is only worth its weight in stock options. It's a living hell, but the under that is as bad as the flashes of gnashing metal teeth that terrorise you every time you try to close your eyes, like some monster trying to split your head open and crawl inside your dreams. Sometimes you got to wonder what the hell is it all for, but no one pays you to ask why, only to follow orders. You're just a grunt, no offence. So lock and load your pulse rifle, Marine. You've got a job to do. Protect and serve the citizens of the Outer Rim colonies, no matter what the cost. Alien Role-Playing Game Colonial Marines Operations Manual is a complete campaign module for the award-winning Alien the Roleplaying Game, giving you all the tools you need to run a full open-world campaign as the iconic Colonial Marines. This is a massive 352-page book, includes history and organisation, the inside story of the illustrious USCMC, creating Marines, expanded the character creation rules for grunts of all kinds, weapons and vehicles, an extensive chapter with new gear gloriously illustrated, the Frontier War, the framework and backstory of the Colonial Marines campaign, factions on the frontier, the powers that be and the dark agendas, Marine missions, 6 thrilling missions for your Marines, playable in any order, the endgame, the showdown against a deadly enemy finally revealed. Note, Alien Role-Playing Game core book is required to use this book. By Free League Publishing, licensed by 20th Century Fox, well, 20th Century Studios, which is now a subsidiary of Disney. Okay, so as I said, the art looks amazing. Absolutely love it. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're seeing is we have a star map of the Middle Heavens, which is the same one that you get in the core rule book. We have trailwood, spinwood, trailwood, corewood, rimwood for directions, with Earth being around here somewhere. It's on the big map. It actually shows you where it is, and the events of Alien taking place in Zeta Reticuli, which is it's on the outer Epsilon Reticuli. It's on the outer rims. We'll find it on the other map because there's a bit of detailed picture on the other map. Okay, so let's carry on. Okay, so the lead writer is Andrew C. Gasker, who wrote Destroyer of Worlds, and I think he also did the other scenario that's in the starter set, the Charity of the Gods, and this is his baby, and it's the first of many. Hopefully getting an interview soon with Andrew, so I'll post details of that as soon as I do. Okay, so as I said, we've got our player section, and then we also have a Games Master section. So the player section is Welcome to the Core, History, Organisation, Making a Marine, Gear, and then the Marine Campaign, which is the Games Master section. And then the last parts of the Games Master section are Systems and Bases, Black Projects, Frontier War, and Missions. Okay. Now, some of these images you'll probably seen before because they've been posted many times on the internet. I know I've posted a lot of these, especially this one. I've got this as my wallpaper on my PC at the moment. I really like that image. So this is basically how you make a Marine. Marines are forged in hell, but they're also human beings, and this goes into great depth to actually deter you from being a Marine. It tells you all the downfalls of why you don't want to be a Marine, which for a military book is brilliant. I really enjoyed that when I was reading through this. This is a cinematic approach to role-playing. There are a couple of ways of playing the Aliens role-playing game. One of them is just as a regular adventure that you can play with all your friends, or you can do it as a cinematic where each adventure is like a mini-movie, and rather than players getting XP for the characters, the players get XP for themselves, which they can use on other characters. Okay, so Life in the Core. This is the thing that tells you all about why you don't want to live in, be a Marine and live in space, because everything's out to get you. If it's not the environment that's hostile, or other people, it's the boredom of actually being a Marine and spending 6 months at a time asleep, and things like that. Okay, so Life in Core is still the first section. Dark Horizons, so these are the facts. We know that there is things going on that are a little bit shady, shall we say. There is a war between the United Americas, which is what the Colonial Marine Corps is part of, and the Union of Progressive Peoples, which we'll get to in a moment, but that's basically China and Eurasia and India, I think, that have all joined together, and they don't like the Americans and the American way of life, and their gung-ho attitude, and they make damn well sure that they don't know about it. Right, so we've got a look at the history. So we've got a timeline which starts off what came before the Weyland-Yutani era, or the Weyland era. So it starts off at the start of the 21st century, and with Peter Weyland making his TED Talk, which you see in Prometheus. Now there are callbacks in this game supplement to Prometheus and to Covenant, and they're both mentioned, but they aren't covered. Although they're mentioned, they're not covered. Okay, so we got from the birth of the core in 2099, and then we carry on going through. Okay, so 2104, and we go all the way through to 2183, which is the current year. And 2183 is roughly 4 years after the incident on Furiana 131, where Ripley dies. So Ripley's dead, and all the survivors of Hadley's Hope are all dead. Okay, and then we go further on. The 20 parsecs limit is communications can't travel very far. This 20 parsec limit seems to be the limit that communications can actually go without being disrupted, but it goes into a little bit more depth about that and why this happens. Okay, then we've got Android Uprising, biological warfare, which was some virus attacks that happened during the late 21st century into the 22nd century. If you've ever wondered why the machinery and the computers in Aliens or an Alien always look so retro, it's because of a computer virus that destroyed most advanced computer systems, which is also explains why from Alien Covenant to Alien Prometheus to Aliens is such a massive change in like 80 years. There's such a change in technology that the technology has actually stepped backwards, but that's due to a massive computer attack that destroyed most of the new school computers. So this is about the core conflicts, which are the wars that are going along in the Middle Heavens. The Middle Heavens being all of this area here. And then we've got the Arcturian police actions. The Arcturians are mentioned in Aliens. So they say they want some Arcturian poontang. It don't matter whether it's male or female if it's Arcturian. That's because they're a race of creatures that are very similar to humanoids, and they're mentioned in here. Okay, so Battle for the Chinese Arm, and then To the Victor the Spoils, Ringwood expansion, and then some more amazing artwork. Okay, War at Home, basically it's telling what's going on in our own system, and then the Frontier War, which brings us to current day and what is going on at the current moment. So we've got the border bombings, which lead into Destroyer of Worlds. Okay, then we've got organisation of the Marine Corps. So how the Marine Corps is organised, structure, and how it operates. So we've got 3 core operational theatres. We've got Sol, which is our core systems. We've got Space Force Arinde, which is the Outer Veil, and then on the Outer Rim we've got Space Marine Force Hercules, which is what most of your characters are going to end up being, most likely. And these are all part of the United States Colonial Marine Corps. Other corporations and nation planets have their own equivalent to the UNCMC. Okay, we have all our different ranks, starting with like a private, going up to warrant officers, captains, and what have you, and generals. And then we have the other military ranks of the UA. The UA stands for United Americas, which is America and Canada and South and Central America. Okay, so Colonial Marines Bureau, Federal Bureau of Investigation, United American Colonial Guard, United States Colonial Coast Guard, Royal Marine Commandos, which are former Canadians who they're formerly of the British Empire, but not the British Empire, the Third World Empire, which is what Great Britain is part of now. And then other different things. So here, ICSC and Corporation Force, UPP Armed Collective. Right, and lots of other things then. How to make a Marine. So this is a look at your Marines themselves. So you've got how to create your Marine, a step-by-step guide, and then all your different specialties. Now, this is expanded greatly in the role-playing game. In the role-playing game, it's only a very small, brief introduction to the Colonial Marines, which is a couple of pages. This is about 60-70 pages on how to create a Marine, probably more than that actually. So these are different character classes that you can actually be. You can be a Marine, which is an armoured fighting vehicle Marine, so you basically drive an APC or an all-terrain vehicle or something like that. Automatic rifleman, automatic gunner. Assault Marine, a breacher. Comtech Marine, and then we have the other classes. We have CBRN specialist, dropship crew chief, dedicated marksman, hospital callsman, forward observer, and rifleman. And then once you're making your Marines, you have field events of what happens to your characters during your different parts. So you can be an enlisted person, you can be an NCO, you can be given a bit like Vasquez, given the chance of either going to jail or joining the Corps. And then we've got new talents. So all-terrain driver, bypass, heavy weapons, hug the dirt, and remote are all talents. Then we rank personal stuff and starting gear. And then a rank start from private for enlisted rank all the way up to general, which follows more or less the military from the United States. All the basic gear that you start off with and specialty gear that you could have. Okay. Next page we have the gear. Again, more brilliant artwork. These guys sitting on top of an APC. And the gear takes up quite a bit of the rest of the book. There's quite a lot of gear. So you've got weapons, so pistols and rifles, RPGs, and then you've got suits and armour. So this is like your body armour, like your M1 helmet and M10 ballistic helmet, sorry. So used to it being an M1 helmet for regular Marines. Okay, then every motorised infantry, so Lockheed Martin M577 armoured personnel carrier, that's the APC as seen in Aliens. There's a couple of different variants of that. There's one that's got a massive cannon on the back of it, which is that, and it also fires missiles. And then we've got some pictures of some more of the stuff. Big tanks, railguns, strike ships, a little strike ship, the Burkat. And then we have an attack dropship, some fighters, an aerospace fighter, and more expanded use of spacecraft. So things like the Sulaco and what have you. That's a Mantis spacecraft. There's the Kremlin model, and then this one is the same class as a Conestoga class, which is the same class as the Sulaco, although this is actually a Bougainville class, which is it's still the same type of ship as the Sulaco. And then this is the Marine campaign. Now I'm just going to quickly flip through this because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, because this is the actual campaign. For these details are for your actual game's mother. Okay, so as we can see, it says game's mother section here. So this tells you everything that's going on in the game and in the systems at the moment. So you've got a detailed map here of the USS Tambatam, which is a Conestoga class starship, which is the same as the Sulaco. And then there's a full squad here of NPCs. There's commandos, there's synths, there's all sorts in here for you to flesh out your games. And if you have players die in the game, you can use one of these NPCs. They're ready to play almost straight off the bat. And then combat procedures, how you actually how we do things, how NPCs work in combat, how you use vehicles, how to do a search patrol. We've also got the spaceship combat rules are expanded in this. We've got missions, so mission briefs, so recon, defense, sabotage and raid, combat patrol, search and rescue, assault. These are just a mission brief, but each one of these can be an entire evening's play from just the basics, very, very easily. And then downtime. What your squad does when it isn't actually going along and fighting bad guys and aliens and what have you. And systems and bases. So here we now have our detailed look at the universe. So we've got the outer veil, and this tells you about the history, so like the Americans actually going out into the systems. Got lots of different systems mentioned, so outer rim territories, Arcturus, which comes into play further along, so Arcturans, which are the details of them. Attack for the Arcturi, which is a creature that was on Arcturus. Cestrus garrison systems, Planet Chibi, and then the Frontier, and O'Bannon's World, named after the screenwriter of Alien, Dan O'Bannon. And lots of shouts out to people like this. There's one of these planets called Geiger, I think, which is quite cool, as Hans Rigi Geiger had a big influence on the thing itself. Right, so now we start getting into the stuff that is really just for the games master, so the games mother. So here you can see there's a big mech. This is all the classified stuff, so I'm just going to very quickly flick through this so you can look at some of the things like Project Berserker. There's the Exo Warrior suit. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I like that, so we just go through, and then we've got the abilities for the XX121 Xenomorph, which is the classic Xenomorph, and different types of Xenomorph. War on the Frontier, which is what is actually happening, and gives you a full blown campaign here now. So this is what the state of play is in the rest of the universe. Now that's on page 195. We've still got all that to go through before we get out of this area. So lots and lots of missions, loads of information. Now we get to the details of all the different factions. So the United American Allied Command, People's Progressive Union People, Progressive People, which is basically Russia, China, and Germany, Spain, and Vietnam. I didn't realise Germany was part of it. Then we have our other things, lots of different characters. Border Bombers, which ties in with Destroyer of Worlds missions. As you can see here, there's some engineer skulls or statues, and each of the missions is can be played. There's 6 missions that can be played in any order, but because there's so many NPCs in this book and there's so much information, you can carry on going and going and going. This is all you really need. If you just want to play as Marines, you're literally set for life, as with the life of the game and last a long time. So this is for the Glory of the Proletariat, which is an SSV medical frigate. Right, so Andrew's working on the next source book at the moment, which I think is the Space Truckers, which will probably be about the same thickness as this one. And then we have a mission set on Nocturus. Lots of different things, loads of maps. Nocturan tunnels. There's a huge map which shows you where all of the Temple of the Engineers, that one's called, which I've not read through that bit. And then another mission, mission 3. We've got lots of missions. As I said, I'm not going to go through them and go and dwell into it very much. We've got maps for each mission. There's NPCs, there's vehicles, there's lots of things that you can actually give to your players. You can feed them misinformation or information, all sorts of stuff like that. And there's hints to how to run each of the adventures and what should happen. Now you can play them in a chronological order, but you don't have to. They can be played as a one-off mission. They can all be played as a cinematic. So if you play in a cinematic campaign, you are most likely going to lose a character at some point because of the nature of the game. And then we just go through like that and come to the final mission in one moment, which is Operation 6, Operation Deep Shaft. And then lots and lots of details on the mission itself, which takes place in a mine. Hence the name Deep Shaft. Loads of guys. And then, oh, there's another mission at Octopus Garden. And then, well, that's us almost at the end of the book now. There we go. So that's just the end, the finale, and the aftermath, and that's the end of the book. As you can see, this is by far one of the most in-depth role-playing supplements I've ever seen, and I've been role-playing for 46 years now, and I've got thousands of role-playing games, and as you probably saw in the intro, I've got a lot of stuff behind me, and not much of that is role-playing, but I am more than impressed with this. I did think that the Alien core rule book was excellent, but when I saw this, I was blown away. I have a real problem with PDFs. I can't really read PDFs because of the flicker rate of screens, and it makes me really ill. I get really bad migraines. But I actually sat down and read through the entire PDF from cover to cover. I was that impressed by it. So that's my quick look at Alien the Colonial Marine Operations Manual for the Alien Role-Playing Game from Free League. Once again, many thanks to the wonderful Bo over at Free League Publishing for this beautiful book. It's really, really good now that we are at a state where a licensed AP like Alien is getting a lot of coverage. The internet is actually a brilliant thing for role playing. I've been role playing since I was 11 years old, and I'm now almost 59. So I've been role playing for a long, long time, and it's strange that when I was a kid, I used to get bullied and picked on, and now the people who bullied and picked on me are the ones who go to comic conventions and stuff. And it's good to see that we get more coverage of, we're getting more coverage on the role-playing hobby, and it's growing and growing. And thanks to YouTube and things like, I can't remember the name of the one that Will Wheaton does. There's lots and lots of famous people now coming out saying like, oh, I'm a role player, and it's good to role play because gaming's good for you. And I can't think of a better game to start with. So this book is now available. You can get it from your local game store, or if you're having a problem finding it, you can order it directly from Free League Publishing. Thank you for sticking with me, and hopefully you might check this out. As always, I've been Mark. No matter where you are in the world, please stay safe, look after yourself. Remember, doors and corners, that's how they get you. Thank you, and bye.